Welcome to the MEG-15 video. In this video, I'm going to cover Train to Pakistan part number 2, Khushwant Singh, The Arrival of Fear. Now, without any further wait, let's start with the introduction and with the recap. The recap of the story. Before we move over here, let's quickly remember where we stopped. The peaceful village of Mano Majra had always lived in harmony. Sikhs and Muslims had never considered each other enemies. They celebrated together, worked together, trusted one another. But then one night, the moneylender Lala Ram Lal was murdered. The police immediately arrested Jugga, not because they had proof, but because he already had the image of being a criminal. At this point, life in Mano Majra is still mostly normal. The villagers believe this is just another crime. They have no idea that something much bigger is about to enter their village. Now let's talk on the strange train arrives. The next morning something unusual happens. A train reaches Mano Majra. Normally trains are ordinary events. The villagers use train timing like a clock. Every train brings passengers, traders, news, moments. But this train feels different. It arrives then and then becomes completely silent. No passengers comes out, no one gets inside. The railway station becomes strangely quiet. Even the railway officials behave differently. The villagers being asked each other, why is everyone acting so strangely? No one answers. A feeling of fear slowly begins spreading. Here's the point, the truth about the train. Soon, the truth becomes known. The train is full of dead bodies. Not one, not 10, hundreds. There are refugees who were trying to cross new border after partition. Instead of reaching safely, they were murdered during communal riots. The train has now become a moving graveyard. This is one of the most shocking moments in the novel. Imagine the villagers until yesterday, they believed violence existed somewhere far away. Now, violence has arrived at their own railway station. Now let's talk on why does Khushwant Singh use a train. This is one of the most important symbolism questions in IGNOU exams. Earlier train represents connections, travels, communications, life. Now the same train represents death, fear, partition, hatred. The train itself has not changed. What has changed is human society. Khushwant Singh quietly tells us technology does not create violence, people do. The train simply carries the consequences of human hatred. This symbolism is extremely important. If asked, discuss the symbolism of trains in Train to Pakistan. Always mention this transformation from hope to horror. Now let's talk on Mano Majra begins to change. Until now, the villagers trusted each other completely. After seeing the train, they being thinking differently. Questions arises, if Muslims are killing Sikhs there, will Sikhs kill Muslims here? No one says these things loudly, but fear enters people's mind. Khushwant Singh shows us something very important. Hatred does not begin with weapons, hatred begins with suspicion. Once people stop trusting one another, violence becomes possible. This psychological change is more dangerous than the violence itself. Now let's talk on who is Iqbal. Around this time, another important character arrived. His name is Iqbal. At first, even his identity seems uncertain. Some people think he is a Sikh, others think he is a Muslim, still others simply know him as an educated political worker. Khushwant Singh intentionally creates this confusion. Why? Because he wants us to ask, why should religion matter before we understand a person? This question lies at the heart of the novel. Now let's talk on Iqbal represents educated India. Unlike Jugga, Iqbal is highly educated. He has traveled, he understands politics, he talks about equality, justice, social reform, freedom. He comes to village hoping to improve society. He believes if people become educated, they will stop fighting. This makes him very different from the ordinary village. Now let's talk on Jugga and Iqbal, two different heroes. Now notice something interesting. The novel gives us two completely different men. Jugga, uneducated, psychological, physically strong, emotional, acts from the heart. Iqbal, educated, intellectual, political, believes in ideas. At first, we naturally think Iqbal will become the hero. After all, he is educated, he understands politics, he speaks intelligently. But Khushwant Singh never allows us to judge characters too quickly. As the novel progresses, he slowly asks an important question. Is education alone enough? Or does true humanity come from compassion and courage? Remember this question, it becomes very important later. Now let's talk on police arrested Iqbal. Soon another surprising event happens. The police arrested Iqbal. Have they proved he committed a crime? No. They arrested him simply because he is an outsider. This shows another problem. During times of fear, authorities often stop searching for truth. Instead, they simply look for someone to blame. Khushwant Singh is criticizing both political system and human panic. Now let's talk on what happens to the villagers. Life becomes increasingly tense. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow, whether violence will spread, whether neighbors can still be trusted. The same people who once shared meals together now being looking at one another differently. Notice something important. Nobody in Mano Majra personally wanted violence, yet then they slowly become trapped inside history. This is one of the deepest ideas in the novel. Sometimes ordinary people suffers because of political decisions made far away. Now let's talk on what about Juggas and Nooran. While politics grows more dangerous, Jugga thinks about only one person, Nooran. He does not care about India or Pakistan. He worries, will I ever see Nooran again? Their love story quietly continues in the background. Khushwant Singh reminds us that love survives even when politics tries to divide people. But readers also being worried. If Muslims are forced to leave, what will happen to Nooran? This creates emotional tension. What does this part teaches us? By now, the novel is becoming much deeper. Khushwant Singh is no longer telling only a story, he is making us think. He asks us, can ordinary people remain good when society around them becomes violent? Can friendship survive fear? Can love survive partition? These questions becomes the emotional foundation of the rest of the novel. For this section, you should be able to answer questions on symbolism of the train. Life is equal to death, hope is equal to horror, unity is partition. Characters of Iqbal, educated reform, political thinkers, symbol of the intellectual India's idealism versus practical action. Number 3, Mano Majra as a symbol. Peaceful India before partition, gradual spreads of communal fear. Ordinary people caught in historical events. Number 4, major theme. Communal violence begins with fear and suspicion, not with religion itself. Here is a quick revision of part 2. The ghost trains brings the reality of partition into Mano Majra. The train becomes a symbol of death and communal hatred. Iqbal enters as an educated political worker. Fear slowly replaces trust among the villagers. Khushwant Singh shows that politics can destroy peaceful communities. So that's it from the part 2 of Train to Pakistan.